So, how you guys doing? There is a change that's happening in the world, and I want to talk about that with you guys. There's a bunch of different elements that's going to be in this video. So, you just got to sit tight and grab from it what works for you and then throw away the rest. Now, to give you a little bit before we really get started, I was watching videos concerning the East African Federation being formed by 6 different nations who are coming together to form one nation. And what does that mean? I also saw videos by Akon and what he has done. And then some of the comments people made as far as him bringing 80 million people electricity in Africa. And some of the comments people made about him not coming to other places in the house that he lives in. And then finally, I'm going to be super transparent about a relationship situation that I'm in with a friend and how that transparency is applicable to the entire life, your life. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and I know in that introduction is like a mouthful, and some people are going to say he's all over the place. I've had people say that to me about me before, but it's all right because it all fits perfectly in my mind. So hopefully it'll fit perfectly in your mind as well. But if you're finding this channel for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell icon so that you'll get notifications for whenever we do live shows and when new videos post, so that you don't catch them on the back end. I want to thank all my Patreons, all my subscribers, everybody who follows me on Facebook, everybody who follows me on Instagram, all the Instagram people who come over after getting the introduction into the regular video. I appreciate you guys as well. And everybody on LinkedIn who comes over. Thank you. Appreciate it. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is the East African Federation. Most of you may not have ever heard about the East African Federation. I only have heard about it in the last 6 months. And the main reason I've heard about it, because as you know, I am very much into convincing black people who have grown up in Western cultures, who have developed skills and have assets and have abilities in business, to be able to recognize that there is a Pan-Africanism you need to get involved in. Whether you identify as African or not, as your heritage, whether you care about what goes on over there or not, and you only care about what goes on in America or England or wherever you live or in the Caribbean, even if that's all you care about, and you want to bring that money back into your community, then go over there and make that money. Set up business in those communities. Do things in those communities to bring business back into your own community wherever you are. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be a benefit in doing what I talked about in my video about game theory, which I'll post at the end of this video, of breaking the current system. We have to break the system in order for us to stop being marginalized. That's the main thing. Stop being marginalized so that no matter what country it is, you're not judged by your color of your skin, the melanin. You strip it all away and we are all the same. So in order for that not to happen, we have to break the system. And one of the things that's breaking the system, you know, Gaddafi was murdered, killed, propaganda set against him when he tried to create a unified financial institution for all of Africa to begin the unification of Africa. And many people see it as he was evil. Other people see it as they made him evil after the UN first said that he was a great ally to the world. When they first said that, then all of a sudden when he wanted to have one form of currency for all of Africa, don't deal with the World Bank, and wanted to unify Africa, all of a sudden, now he's a terrorist, he's crazy, and all these other things. I'm not saying the man was perfect, because nobody is, but there's some controversy there. That's all I'm going to say about that. There's some controversy. And we can go either way on that controversy. So what you have happening, though, see, you can't stop progress. You can't stop change. Change will always happen, right? So one of the changes that is possible, that's moving in the right direction, is not complete yet, but it's moving in the right direction, is the creation of the East African Federation. Now, I don't remember all the names of the countries right off the bat. That's why we ain't got to remember everything. We got it right here. So those countries include Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. All right, so those are the 6 nations. Now, in their last meeting about 2 months ago, they did talk about allowing Somalia to become part of this East African Federation. And you see that if they're already, before they even get it all done, they're already talking about adding other African nations to it. So adding Somalia to it. The president of Uganda has stepped down from leading the charge fully to being in charge of the group that's looking to form a constitution. So they got about 5 months left. They did this about 2 months ago. So about 5 months from now, they're supposed to have a viable constitution for everybody to vote on. But they're moving in the right direction. They're talking about the main issues is infrastructure, building infrastructure for the entire federation, for the entire region, and that infrastructure being a way to progress. You see, Kenya and Rwanda, so those 2 countries in itself have been growing tremendously economically because they've instituted their form of capitalism. They went away from socialism where the government controlled everything, and they instituted a lot of capitalism. So what does that mean? It means opportunity. That's what it means. If they get involved in, they'll have to redo their rail lines, their roadways, their bridges, all these different things about infrastructure. In electricity, they spoke about how they have to go further in their usage of electricity and building the ability for people to have electricity. There's so many infrastructure things that will be developed throughout this massive, massive region. It will become like the 3rd largest region in the African continent. So they're talking about this. They're doing this. They're talking about all these infrastructure things. That's opportunity. That's opportunity. That is so much opportunity for people who have the mindset. It ain't about having the money. It ain't about having, the education. It's about having the mindset. If you got the mindset, you can get the education, you can get the money, right? It's about having all that. It's an amazing opportunity. Yes, this could mean the beginning of the unification of all of sub-Saharan Africa, and then hopefully eventually all of Africa in itself. But that type of unification brings out a lot of opportunity. In the same way that the unification of the United States brought opportunity, the unification of the European Union brought some more opportunity, but it's already very well industrialized, so it wasn't as much. But in the colonial days of America is what I'm talking about, when it brought a lot of opportunities for people. That's why people ran to America. That's why a lot of Europeans ran to America. They saw opportunity. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. There's opportunity. We have to run to it. Now, this brings me to Akon. I was watching a video concerning Akon providing 80 million people in Africa with electricity. And yes, China has been the primary funding source of that. And I know people are going to go on a tangent about, oh, China getting in, China getting in. But China is seeing the opportunity. Look, here's my thing. If you see an opportunity and you don't do it, but then somebody else go do it, you have no right to say anything about them other people doing it. Now, maybe you didn't have the resources to be able to do it to that level, and I'm going to get to that, but it's still there. It's still something there. You still can do something. You don't have to sit back, China taking over everything, and whine and complain. Let me say it the way I want to say it, bitch and moan. All right? You cannot do that because I'm getting ahead of myself if I go there. Oh, but we're going to go there because the last part of this video is about people stop whining, bitching, moaning, get off your ass and go do something about it. Go do something about it. Go get there. So, mid-preview. But, Akon, 80 million people, electricity. China being a big provider of the funding for that. But the thing about it, Akon started out just wanting to provide electricity for his grandmother. That's how the story goes. But he realized he had to do it for the whole village. And then once he saw that there was a lot more that he could do. And so he started doing more, started reaching out to bigger countries, bigger companies, getting people more into sustainable energy. So that's become a big thing for him. Now, a couple of things. One, Akon made a lot of money in the music and entertainment industry. He has a big house. Of course, the house that he has over there is a fraction of what it would cost here in America. But he has a big house, and people complain about the size of his house. He went and made a bunch of money by utilizing his talent to do so. Who are you to tell him how to spend his money? Can I come into your house with your $30,000, your $50,000, your $100,000 and say, you know what? You need to be spending $1,000 on this person. You need to spend $10,000 on that person. You don't need to live in that 4-bedroom house and it's only 2 or 3 of y'all in that house. You need to buy a smaller house and provide housing for somebody else. Who am I to come to you and tell you that? No one. I cannot tell you that. As I said in a different video, you can't control what other people do with their money, nor should you be allowed to. Don't tell me what to do with mine. I ain't telling you what to do with yours. I give you advice, but that's it. If you choose not to take it, that's on you. I tell you about the 70-10-10-10 plan. You either implement it or you don't. But when you don't and you broke, don't come whining me. If you do it, well, you can come whining, but it's going to cost you because I got to coach you. But point is, I can only provide you information. Akon, if he makes $10 million a year and he decides to spend, if he makes $10 million a year in cash, liquid, well, he don't. I don't think he makes $10 million in liquid, but whatever he makes, I don't care what he makes. Let's just say he makes $10 million a year and he decides that he wants to buy a house that costs $500,000 or a house that costs $1 million. That's his prerogative. But the thing is, he's provided 80 million people with electricity through his initiative. I'm not worried about his house. I'm looking at the other output. So let's get away from that. People are always that way, but there was a couple of comments that irritated me. A couple of comments that I thought is problematic. And before I really get into that, I want to tell you about a relationship thing that's going on in my life right now that does correlate to my final point. You see, I have this friend, right? And we had a major hiccup in our relationship a while back, about 6 months ago. And when we did, it was completely my fault. All my fault. Completely my fault. I take full ownership and responsibility of it. Now, we not worked in communication with each other for a while. And then when I realized how badly I screwed up, I initiated communication. They really didn't want to talk to me, and that's understandable. But then they came around and we had a discussion. And the person was really hurt because of the loss of the friendship. That when they were going through a very, very stressful time in their life, I wasn't there. I wasn't being their friend. I wasn't there for them to talk to. I wasn't there to console them. I wasn't there to let them vent and be their sounding board. I wasn't there. I wasn't being their friend. And we have built this friendship up over like a 14-year time frame. So I screwed up. I wasn't there for my friend. Now, we decided that we were going to restart the friendship, try to rebuild the trust that we had as friends, and hopefully regain not even the same friendship, but a better friendship. That's the plan. And yesterday I was in deep contemplation of it because as it is right now, I reach out. I ask about their day. I ask about their home. I ask about their children. I initiate the 90% of the conversation that goes on in rebuilding the friendship. Currently, they're still hurt, so we don't really talk on the phone. It's mostly through text. But they're open to building a friendship. We do have conversations. We've initiated that. Where we had a little minor conversation, nothing major, nothing deep yet, but we have conversation. Now, I got to tell you, for a moment, I felt some kind of way about the fact that I have to initiate contact. That just to say, good morning, how's your day going? That I have to initiate it. That I don't get a good morning, how's your day going? That we don't really speak, we haven't been really speaking throughout the rest of the day for the most part, but then, hey, how was your evening? I hope you had a great day. Hope the kids had a great day as well. Everybody had a great day, all right? Nothing, no real conversation, although we are scheduled to have a real conversation real soon. But no real conversation, but just, kind of getting it started. I have to reach out. That was bothering me a little bit. Like, they're not reaching out. They're not participating. But then yesterday, I remembered something. Well, I've told you guys many times before, and I'm very, very, very transparent. When I was married, the second woman that I married, the first whole year, she showed me everything that I was looking for in a woman. I mean, she was adventurous. She talked a good. We were trying to practice abstinence. Well, she wanted to practice abstinence, so I agreed. But she talked a good game about what she's like and what she liked to do and how she liked to do it, and how much she liked to do it. She talked a really good game. And she was fun. We go out on a Wednesday or Tuesday. We go up to the mountains. She was, there, and we just had fun. And there was never, oh, I'm too tired. She lived on one side of Atlanta. I lived on the other side. We was making that drive. Nobody's too tired. Everything was like, for the year, I was like, wow, this is what's up. I'm loving this. I got a divorce from my best friend, and then a year later, year and a half, 2 years later, I meet somebody who's look like they're gonna be my best friend, as well as the intimacy part that I was missing. So, winner, chicken dinner. Got married. 3 months later, can only go out on Saturday. 3 months later, I'm too tired to have sex. 3 months later, I'm too tired to sit on the couch and cuddle with you. 3 months later, I don't want to go to the mountain and walk with you and hold hands and all that kind of stuff. We can do that on Saturday. 3 months later, all those things were gone. So after 4 years of counseling, I was done. And then, when I said I was done, I remembered. It was like February 19th, 2015. I was done. And she said, wait. Before you're done, let's try again. Let's really try. I know that I've made a mistake. I know that I wasn't what I said I was going to be. 8 months ago, I told you that I thought I was going to be a certain way when we got married, and I realized that I'm just not that way. I know that 4 years prior to that, almost 4 years prior to that, I told you that let's forget about all the stuff we said and did when we was dating, and let's get to know each other now. But I'm asking for you to give me a shot to be what you desire. I said, okay. And this is the part where my current situation comes into play. After a week went by, now she was doing great all week, for about 5 days. And then about the 7th day, she says, well, I need you to do more in the relationship to make me feel like being what you desire. What? From day one, I did everything to make this relationship what it is. I've been myself from day one. I was romantic from day one. I was considerate from day one. I was loving from day one. I was understanding from day one. When you said, I actually said these things. When you said, it's one of the conversations you just never forget. When you said, let's forget about everything we were when we was dating and learn each other now, I wrote in my journal, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Nobody marries, the people marry the person they're dating. Nobody doesn't marry the person. Even in an arranged marriage, they have a courtship time frame. So I was like, this is bullshit. But I went along with it to try to save and try to work on the marriage. my final straw was when you said that you thought you was going to be a certain way, but you realized you're more like your mother. And I see your parents' relationship, and I abhor that thing. So, which I know should have been a red flag, so don't even write that in the comments. I know, I see all the red flags that I should have saw, that I knew I did see, but I just chose to ignore them. So, yeah, don't say it. I got years of wisdom on top of that now. But, when she said this to me, I thought at that time, and I told her, I have put in all this work for all this time, and now you're telling me I need to be the one to put in more work? That all those other years of me saying, finding out what your love language is, and then giving to you in your love language, like making sure that I gave to you in your love language, even for the love language that I really don't even care about. Now that's why I understand you got to speak the dialect, and you got to actually have an affinity for wanting to speak that dialect, desiring to speak that dialect. I even went as far as to speak dialects to you and speaking your love language in ways that is not easy for me. It's not easy. I can give gifts, but I'm not good at giving gifts. Like, I'm being straight up. I'm more literal, hey, here's some money, go get what you want. You know, but I will hear you. Oh, you want that? And I'll come back and get it. That happens sometimes. This is not an all the time thing with me. I struggle. I literally have to write those things down and set reminders in my phone to give me an alarm to go do something like that. I'm not good at giving gifts. Now, if you want affection, if you want sexual and non-sexual, if you want quality time, if you want words of affirmation, if you want acts of service, you know, I got you. I got you. Got you. Them gifts, it's not a strong suit for me. But I worked on it. So I'm there and I'm like, I did all that. And I know I'm ranting on this one way longer than I expected. But you guys got to get this point so that you can get the next point. I then told her that after all that I've done before, now you have taken this and you messed it up. Now you're taking this point of you saying you want to rebuild it. You have to be the primary builder. You have to be the primary initiator. You have to be the one to get that trowel out. Mix that cement up real good. Don't expect me to mix the cement. Don't expect me to be your laborer and bring the bricks to you. Don't expect me to be the laborer and build the scaffold. Don't expect me to do that. Mix that cement. Lay it on there. And put that brick as perfectly as you can. Slide it through. Get it all in there, you know. Yeah, my grandfather used to have a construction company. I laid some bricks before. But get it all nice. Then get that next and slap that mud on there again. Put them bricks. Get it in there. Good. Lay that next brick as perfect as possible. Build your wall from the ground up. Build your own scaffolding so that when it gets taller than you can do it, you get up on your scaffolding and you keep building. Do the work. Be the initiator until I feel confident enough and trust you enough. And I told you, until I feel confident enough and trust you enough, don't you worry about what I do. Don't you worry about if I am loving you the way I've been loving you for the last 4 years without receiving any benefits, or very little benefits, actually is what I say, very little benefits. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Do what you need to do to rebuild this relationship, rebuild my trust in you. So, if my friend ever watches this, I realized, I thought about that last night. I said, God dog it, why I gotta be the first one to say good morning? Why I gotta be the one to ask about your day in the evening? And it's been a very short period of time, but y'all know I ain't got no patience. And I thought about that for like 10 seconds. And then that whole scenario that I went through in my life came to me. And then I told myself, I actually looked in the mirror and said, Renz, shut the hell up. You abandoned your friend. You abandoned your friend. So, because you abandoned your friend, mix the mud your damn self. Be the laborer to bring the bricks your damn self. Build the scaffolding, your damn self. And start building that wall by your damn self. Until your friend feels like you've regained their trust, it is all on you to do the work. If you value the friendship. Now, if I don't value the friendship, just walk away. But I do value the friendship. It's a 14-year friendship. I know the kids, and that's a lot of investment. And it's a good friend. It's a really good friend. She's always been a really, really good friend to me. The entire time. All the craziness I've been through, she remained a friend. Every time that these other people abandoned me because changes happened in my life, she was still a good friend, and now she's went through a change, and I abandoned her because of my own stupidity, my own selfishness, and I apologize for it. But beyond the apology, forget the apology. Repent, man. Repent. Go fix it. Go fix it. Repent. True repentance. I know. One more. 11 years ago. 11 years ago. Me and my friend Brandon had a misunderstanding. And I was pissed. I'm talking about I was pissed. And I'm used to not talking to Brandon for like some time. But it was like, I ain't talking to you. I ain't nothing on Facebook. Ain't nothing. No texts. Nothing. I ain't say nothing to Brandon for a while. And then he reached out. And I told him I was mad. Why are you reaching out to me? And he was like, why are you mad? And I told him why I was mad. He was like, oh man, that ain't what I meant. So, in that one, we both started rebuilding the relationship. We both, it was one of those situations where we got to build a wall. Well, he's starting way the hell over there, and I'm going to start way the hell over here. And then we're going to build our own wall and do our own bricks until we get to the middle. And then we'll do it together. And so, but you got to take your responsibility, your personal responsibility when you're doing something like that. So, which brings me to the other point, which may be the title of this video, because I don't know what I'm titling right now as I'm speaking. But in Akon's comments, in the comments about Akon, people start saying, oh, Akon, we need you to come to Haiti. We need you to come to Haiti, Akon, because we need solar power in Haiti, Akon. And Akon, if I could just sit and talk to you, then there's some things that I want to do in Africa, Akon. Akon, I need your help. We need you to come and do this over here in this country. Akon, we need you to come, and you need to do that over here. Akon, oh. And it's the same thing that people do when they, Oprah, Michael Jordan, LeBron, whomever, we run into people, please do something. We need you to do something, please. I know this is my southern accent, but we need you to do something. We need your help. We need you to bring it to our country, because we can't do shit. We can't do nothing for ourselves. We can't move. I tried to put my left foot in front of my right foot so that I can walk. Then I tried to put my right foot in front of my left foot so I can walk again. Please. That drives me insane. You know why? As you guys know, I love motivational speakers. Tony Robbins is one of my favorites. Mainly because I love his stories. I love his life. Tony Robbins talks about how when his family did not have food, did not have money, and a man showed up and gave them a box of food for Thanksgiving because they weren't going to have any food. His father took that as his failure and left his family. Tony took that as people actually care. Damn, I thought I was living in a world where people didn't care. People actually care. So he decided, I think he was like 17 at that time, or 16 or 17 when that happened. But he decided that as soon as he can, he was going to provide a Thanksgiving meal for at least one family. And he finally got to a point where he did that. He provided a Thanksgiving meal for one family. He wasn't Tony Robbins that we know now. He was just Anthony Robbins. He was just himself back then. Just one guy who had a job. And when Thanksgiving came, he provided a meal for one family. He felt great about it. He just did it for one family because that's what he could afford, one family. And then the next year, and he loved the feeling of it so much, so he said, the next year I'm going to do like 5 families. So the next year he did like 5 families. I don't know if the numbers are exactly right. It might have been 3, 5. But anyway, that's not the point. So next year he did like 3, 4, 5 families. And then he wanted to keep growing it. And so the next year he wanted to do even more families. And then he started noticing that other people start coming along. He did 10 families, then he did 20 families. And now he feeds, I think it's like 1 million families during Thanksgiving. He can feed 1 million now. He has a larger organization. He makes millions of dollars, so he can do that. But he started feeding one family based on what he had. One family. So don't sit whining, hey, come help us in Haiti. No. You can solar power up your house. My house in Florida, I found out there was a well. I had a well dug. Took me off the water, right? I put solar panels on the house. Took me off the electric grid. I just did it for my house. You in Haiti. I don't know what your finances are. Maybe it might take you 5 years to save up to make your house solar powered. I don't know if you have to deal with the whole situation of lighting up a whole region, a whole area. I don't know. Maybe you can do one house. Maybe you have to do 5 houses in the neighborhood. Maybe you get together with the 10 people in your neighborhood, 20 people in your neighborhood, and y'all do it together as a project that you save your money, and in 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, however long it takes, you get it done. You see, that's the other part. Sorry, that's the other part about my friendship. I realize I got to lay this brick for however long it takes. For however long it takes to rebuild the friendship, because I value the friendship. If you value what's going on in Haiti, if you value the idea of bringing solar power for Haiti, do your house first. And then say, you know what? We're going to do the neighbor. Neighbor, you saw what I did with my house. Neighbor, you can have the same thing. So neighbor, we're going to work together to get you solar power. And then when you do that, guess what will happen? Other people like, well, damn, he did his house. He did the neighbor house. And then you're going to have about 5, 6, 10 people come up. Hey, I want to do my house too. Can we do my house? How did you do that? Can we do my house? Now you're thriving. You're starting to build something. You're starting to get some momentum. And then all of a sudden, bam, you do another. You did 10 houses. Then you do 30 houses. Yeah, it may take you 20 years, 30 years to do all of Haiti. But so what? You did it because you got started. Stop waiting and begging on everybody else. This is what the Eastern African Federation is an example of, something that you can get involved in at grassroots. There's another thing that Akon said in his video. He said, and I don't agree 100% because he used a finite term, but he said Africa is the only place where black people can go and build a Fortune 500 company in 5 years. That's what he said. Because I've been studying Rwanda, the Eastern African Federation, Somalia, Nigeria, and Botswana and Ghana, because I've been studying those countries, paying attention to what's going on, I agree that you can go to those countries and build a Fortune 500 company in 5 years, depending upon your talent, skills, depending upon what you're coming in to play with. But even if you start small, I know a dude who done ran over to Botswana and is opening up a chicken wing shack, right? American dude went and opened a chicken wing shack in Botswana and is doing well. Doing well. He ain't got a lot of competition either. That's the funny part. And of course he slapped that American on there and people just go to it. But I know real estate agents who went over to some of these countries and they're doing well. They're doing well. So I agree that you can. Now, as the only country, I'm not going to agree with the only country. That's the part that I didn't agree with, the only country. I think you can go to Bahia, Brazil, and do it. There are parts of Colombia, I think you can do it. You can go to Haiti and do it. You can go to other Caribbean nations and do it. So I think there are other places you can do it. And even in America, you can do it in 5 years. I do think that. I do think that. You definitely going to need some guidance and coaching, but yeah, you can do that. So I don't think it's the only place, but I think it's a great place. It's a great place, greater opportunity. Yeah, and it's great. There are places over there where you can buy land for like $2,000. So it's great. Remember, even in Belize, check out Belize. They talking the same thing. You can buy land cheap. But a lot of places in Botswana, land cheap. You know, cheap land. You can buy it and then build on it. So I believe it's possible. I believe it's possible. So many industries that are like, look, call centers, I'll tell you guys this one because I don't mind, because I know that 90% of the people will never do anything towards what I'm talking about. Actually, 98%. Establishing a call center in a country like Botswana, where the primary language is English, and you got tons and tons of youth who need work. If you establish a call center operation in Botswana and then gain clients from all over the world where English is the primary language to be spoken, 5 years, Fortune 500 company. I want you guys to do something. Just Google or look up YouTube the top 10 wealthiest people in Botswana. When you see what the number is, you're gonna be like, what? I mean, people in that top 10 are only like 2 million in that top 10. 2 million, that's it. That's it. And that's a Chinese Asian guy who owns like a chain of grocery stores who was like 2 million. I don't know what number he was, but the opportunities are all there. The opportunity for you to make changes in this world is all there. The world is changing. There are forces that may try to stop you, and that's why I'm talking about game theory, where you have the ones that cheat, that rob and steal, that tries to cut the line. They get a little bit ahead, and everybody else still kind of do decently, but they keep that balance. But we got to break the stick, break the game theory, break it into something different by doing things like that, by getting into these countries that are developing, these countries that have great, wonderful opportunity. If you look at what Kagame is doing in Rwanda, what he has done in Rwanda and what he's continued to do in Rwanda, and personally, this is just me, I don't know everything, but personally, I think if the Eastern African Federation comes into fruition, personally, I think Kagame needs to be the president, the first president, you know, just based on what I've seen him do in Rwanda after the Hutu and Tutsi whole civil war thing happened. I think he would be a perfect candidate for that. But I don't have a horse in the game. My thing is, as long as we can economically grow, that's what matters to me. As long as people have freedom and safety and security, that's what matters. So in conclusion of this, guys, the thing is that there are tons of opportunities all over this world for you, not just in the country you live in. Get out of that mindset, all right? Get out of that trap, right? That's a trap that's only here. You can go other countries, you can build business, you can do amazing things, but stop waiting for somebody else to do it. Stop waiting for somebody else to do it. Yeah, we had nothing to do, well, the name was having nothing because some African tribes did sell other Africans into slavery, but we did not create this environment where the majority of people of color are suffering under oppression. The majority of people of color are suffering under either massive oppression or systematic oppression. We did not create that. We did not create what happened to the indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere. We didn't create those things, and that's fine, and we know it, and we can pass all the blame we want to, and we can say, well, you need to give reparations, and this athlete needs to do this, and this actor needs to do that, and this business person needs to do this. We can do that all day long, but at the end of the day, if you want to rebuild the relationship between the African and the diaspora, and with the African continent, if you are one of them indigenous people, whatever, but you need to recognize that I don't give a shit about that because the opportunity is still there. It's about the opportunity. What you doing with that? What you doing with that? You ain't building no nation. You sitting up here running around talking about we the Israelites or we the indigenous people. What nation you building? What country are you establishing financial freedom and political freedom and physical freedom for people of your group? I mean, where it's at? I don't see it. You can whine, bitch. You can talk about this stuff all you want to, but until you put some action to it, then until the law of vibration comes into play, you will not move up that polarity scale. So you can just keep swinging to the downside, because that's all just a bunch of talk, a bunch of BS at that point. So my point, the thing is no matter what, if I'm standing here and you're standing here, that oppression sees the same thing, doesn't differentiate between the two. So you best just get on board to going to build something somewhere where you actually have an opportunity to build something. And remember, you got to do it. You got to do it. Build it brick by brick. And then when people see you doing the work, others will come along. Others will come along. Just brick by brick. Plant a brick. Plant a brick. All right. I'm working on some bricks right now. So as they come into fruition, because I ain't telling y'all what I'm doing in the process of doing it, because you know how people are. But as they come into fruition, I'll show you the brick. And maybe you come alongside. Maybe you don't. but plant a brick. There are bricks that I'm planting here in America. There's bricks that I'm planting in other countries. But lay the damn brick. I keep saying plant the brick, but you know what I mean. Lay the brick. Lay the brick. Just like, just like I know that in rebuilding the relationship between me and my friend, that is my personal responsibility. It is my build the bridges across the world. It is my personal responsibility to build the bridges in Haiti. My personal responsibility to build the bridges in Bahia. My personal responsibility to build the bridges in Africa. I'm not waiting nor looking for anyone else to do it other than myself. And the moment you start doing that, you'll be amazed at how many people start coming alongside you and build it brick by brick, wall by wall, house by house, building by building, city by city. So watch these other videos. Watch the one on game theory. It's long as hell, just like this one. But y'all have a great day. And remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself. Why? Because your greatness is non-negotiable.